Hello and welcome to my shop. Today I show you how I made this. Well, some of you might think this is kind of, well, useless, but this is a precision miter box for cutting segments for segmented turning. I actually managed to cut with this one. I actually managed to cut this. Well, this is a prototype. This is the first one I ever cut with that. I cut this segmented ring, well, the segments for this ring, and these are 24 pieces. So this is not, the pieces aren't that big. They are just, well, thickness here is 3/4 of an inch either way. And I guess I turned this into a bangle, but this will be another video. For this miter box, well, it's actually, this one is very accurate and it works with my Japanese saw I've got, and it's specially made for this saw. Some people think the wood I use is wearing out, but as you don't have to guide the saw for making accurate cuts, as it is guided by this thingy here, it works perfect. So follow me along how I made it, and please be inspired. Oh, by the way, this ring, to make the ring and including the glue up, took me about 3/4 of an hour. So this is faster than I could ever done it with some power tool regarding the size of the individual pieces. So follow me along how I made this and enjoy the build. I started by cutting all the pieces from 20mm birch plywood. Now that I cut all the pieces, I ran into one problem. Okay, this is designed for someone who is left-handed. As if you want to cut the 45, it works this way. I'm right-handed, so I guess I have to mirror all that, but this isn't a big problem. But nevertheless, this is something, when you make the plans, it looks logical this way, but it's not practical. Okay, so now I start by routing the grooves for aligning these two boards, and the one on the bottom for the small one, which actually will act as something to get the whole piece mounted in the end. The problem here is I can't move the fence that far back. So in order to route the second groove, I just clamped down. Let's see. just clamp down a piece of, well, board of pine pretty straight, and now I just go ahead and do the same as if this would be the real fence, just that I don't have any dust extraction. Seems like the groove is a little narrow, so just go ahead and leaving it, just push the fence a little outwards. And do it again. Yep, that's it. So just have to light sand this piece here, and then it will fit in perfect. Now that all the grooves are routed, I came across one problem, and this is when the fence is mounted this way, and you add a stop block, and the angle you're cutting in, you try to push the sharp corner in onto the stop block. So I'll just go ahead and route a 6mm groove into the fence at about, well, I guess at about 5 centimeters, well, I don't know, thickness of this one here. So at this height, I just route a 6mm groove, where the stop block will have actually some kind of a tongue which will ride in the groove. So in the end, the corner, the sharp corner here, is resting against this stop, and let's see how it works. To remove this tiny thing here, it's useless to start the router table again. Just taking a chisel and running the mirror side on the actual routed part here, and this way I can easily peel off this overhang. There we go. This is the blank of my stop block. Now it's just a matter of cutting the stop block to perpendicular, and then what else? Let's see. I don't know yet. Oh yeah, glue and screw this together. This is the reference where it all butts on, because, well, okay, I turn it around. It's turned around, and the saw I'm using is a pull saw. So I'm pulling into this fence. This fence is just for having the saw aligned with the angle. At least that's my idea. Okay, go for it. Time for the glue up. Should work pretty straightforward. Just add some glue to the groove here. Not even that careful. Just checking whether it's the right side. Okay. I'll try to drive the screws in. So this is the way it works. I got these two wedges and I got this thingy here as a spacer. And with this spacer you can just knock free the wedges. You can even take a small piece like this. Now I adjust it to the stop block I had before and then insert the wedges just to hold this down, and then just insert the saw and just pull it. Don't guide it. It is guided by these by the slot here. Just cut down on it. This is beech I had been cutting. The spacer is there because then you get clearance from the stop block and this piece won't get caught. And now look at this cutting surface here. That's perfect. Just a little, well, can't even call that tear out or whatever. And it's just a matter of taking a little sandpaper, just go across there, and you can go ahead and glue this up directly, as the surface is smooth like sanded with 200 grit sandpaper. Thank you very much for following me along how I made this one. So just a short explanation about some things you might have noticed. The grooves I cut with my table saw, and I added some spaces here to actually have the curve left. I tried this cutting by hand, but in a way this started moving away from being a straight line. So I used the table saw. Next thing, I'm using a scrap piece of wood as a back support, so I don't cut into the base here, so it's just risen by about 3 millimeters or so. Another thing, okay, I did make a test cut, and I used 1.5 of these two offcuts and cut them into 24 of these triangle shaped thingies, and couldn't resist. As you saw in the beginning, I turned this bangle from it, and even though I didn't sand on the actual glue surfaces, and I just used a rub joint, well, added some glue and rubbed it, glued it together, set it aside, cut the next piece, and so on. The glue lines on these are better than everything I've ever made. For the accuracy of this thingy, well, of this jig, I also sliced a piece off, just a slice. And this is end grain you're looking at, and actually the size of it is, that's in inches, and I guess you won't believe it if you don't see it. It's 0.02 inches thick, and look at that. This is pretty awesome. And this, you can't do anything like that with a machine, with a normal machine. So in the end, I'm pretty happy with this, and I thank you all for being with me, following me along, leaving comments, encouraging me to do the things I'm doing. And for the bangle, I guess this will be the follow-up video. I show you how I turned this bangle. With that said, I'm very happy about all your support, all your comments, and encourage you to leave comments on the video, and well, subscribe to my channel if you haven't so. Follow me on Facebook, I'll leave the link down there. And I've got one more thing. I also have the plans for this one available. Well, for this one it will be only the SketchUp drawing of it, but this will be available for download on my website. So visit my website and download this plan or the other plans coming up, or which are already on this site. With that said, it's up to next week with another project. With greetings from good old Germany, your Peter Freitag. Thank God it's Friday.